The once thriving Qipu Road Wholesale Market, a well-known clothing wholesale market in Shanghai, now paints a picture of desolation. The market, which used to bustle with crowds from all over China, now sees many shuttered shops and remaining businesses experiencing days with zero sales. Surviving each day as it comes has become the norm for most shop owners on Qipu Road.
Today I visited Shanghai's Qipu Road Market looking to buy a skirt. I often came here when I was younger. Let's take a look at the current state of Qipu Road. It's Saturday afternoon and the foot traffic is indeed much less than before. The market used to be packed to the point where we can't move. The impact of the pandemic on the physical economy is truly significant. Now we are at the old Xinwang on Qipu Road, which used to be the most bustling and vibrant shopping center here. Now almost all the shops on the first floor are empty and abandoned. Qipu Road has lost its former glory.
A Shanghai resident looking for a storefront at Qipu Road Wholesale Market expected it to be a challenging task to rent a shop. However, she was surprised to find that half of the market had vacant storefronts for rent, a testament to the grim state of business there. Locals recall that a decade ago, Qipu Road was so crowded it was hard to move, especially on weekends when the overpasses were filled with street vendors. But now, many shops have closed, and the market is eerily quiet even on weekends. Qipu Road Market, located in a prime area in Shanghai, was known nationwide for its affordable and trendy clothing, with sales reaching 120 million yuan, 17 million US dollars, from January to July 1995. Merchants from 29 provinces across China used to source their inventory from this market. There was a time when getting a shop at Qipu Road was highly challenging. A 4 square meter shop could command an annual rent of over 500,000 yuan, 70,500 US dollars, signifying the premium value of the space. However, the market has lost its former glory. According to mainland media reports, Qipu Road Wholesale Market now appears deserted. At 4:30 p.m., shop owner Zhu packs up the mannequins and scarf samples from outside his shop, marking the end of yet another day without sales. Zhu's second-floor shop used to feel the impact of online sales promotions, but this year's business has plummeted, with revenues dropping by at least 80%. Over a decade ago, the market saw a daily footfall of about 40,000 people, which could surge to over 100,000 on holidays, with annual sales in the billions of yuan. Wang, another shop owner, laments, today's revenue was just 500 yuan, 70 US dollars. The basement second floor of the market, known as Shanghai Women's Street, is home to a variety of women's clothing, accessories, backpacks, shoes, and even nail salons. However, the once vibrant atmosphere is gone, and as one ascends the escalators, the lights are dimmed, music fades, footfall decreases, and many shops closed. Kai, a veteran in the clothing wholesale business for over 30 years, with domestic and international clients, says, people from all over the country, as well as Singapore and Malaysia, used to buy from me. My client list was 20 notebooks long at its peak. This year, however, has seen a drastic decrease in customers and stagnant inventory. Kai's Cheongsam shop is located on the third floor of Lianfu Fashion City, right opposite the escalator. He said, there used to be over 100 shops on this floor, but now they're all closed, either turned into warehouses or just 3 or 4 still operating. Not just Lianfu Fashion City, but other nearby markets like New Qipu and New Jinpu are also struggling. The dire state of business forces shop owners to keep their doors open. One owner says he has millions worth of stock in his warehouse and cannot afford to close down. He is stuck with an endless inventory that seems to have him trapped. Mr. Zhou, who drives a 40-seater bus between Shanghai and Anhui Province, transporting shop owners from Huaibei City to Qipu Road for goods, notes a stark decline in passengers. It used to be full. Today, there are no more than 10. The downturn at Qipu Road reflects the broader challenges faced by the entire brick-and-mortar clothing retail industry.
The state of our clothing wholesale market is now completely at a standstill. There has been no business since November. Look at the clothing wholesale market now. Everyone has given up. They dare not stock up because there's no confidence in the market.
Puyuan Town in Tongxiang City, Zhejiang, once renowned as a hub for the clothing manufacturing industry and the world's largest distribution center for woolen sweaters, is facing economic challenges. It's reported that over 700 million sweaters were sold annually from Puyuan, with 7 out of every 10 woolen sweaters worldwide originating from here. However, a decline in foreign orders and a hit to China's economy have led to reports on social media of numerous clothing factories in Puyuan going bankrupt, with many owners fleeing. Recently, I often hear about factory owners in Puyuan running away, and I see it frequently on social media. Such incidents happen every year, but they have been particularly frequent in the last 2 years. When factories shut down, The biggest losses are borne by the suppliers, followed by the processors, but the workers are the most unfortunate. Suppliers and processors work with multiple factories, so they have other sources of income, but the workers depend on their wages to pay for mortgages, living expenses, and their children's education. What happens to them when factories shut down?
福苑时尚工厂
I heard from a shop owner that the owner of Puyan Fashion Factory store declared bankruptcy. It's said that the owners who are still operating here initially invested over 800,000 yuan, 112,800 US dollars, to get their shops. Many reluctantly say they must persevere no matter what.
这里呢是浦院的国贸啊。
This is the International Trade Center in Zhejiang's Puyan. Let me share my real experience after a day's visit. I communicated with many shop owners at the International Trade and World Trade Centers. They all said they haven't made any money this year, and some are even considering changing industries next year due to continuous losses. The crisis isn't limited to small and medium-sized garment businesses. Major Chinese clothing companies have also seen significant downturns, some even facing bankruptcy.
In 2023, the apparel industry experienced the highest number of brick-and-mortar store closures. From this data, we can see that 1,851 apparel stores have closed, including 18 brands. Well-known national brands like Peacebird and Highland Home had over 1,400 closures. So when you hear the cries of despair online, it's not without basis. The data indeed shows a trend of widespread store closures.
Peacebird Group Company Limited experienced a 21% drop in revenue last year to 8.6 billion yuan, approximately 1.2 billion US dollars, with a net loss of 26.8 million yuan, approximately 3.8 million US dollars, its first loss since going public. In 2021, Peacebird opened 1,315 new stores but closed 717. In 2022, it opened 1,076 new stores, but the number of closures rose to 1,619, marking negative growth. In the first quarter of this year alone, Peacebird closed 330 stores, including 162 Peacebird women's clothing stores. Analysts point out that Peacebird's target audience is the youth, whose spending is more susceptible to external factors. Hailan Home Company Limited, once a dominant player in China's men's clothing market, is also in rapid decline. In 2022, Hailan Home reported revenues of 18.5 billion yuan, approximately 2.6 billion US dollars, an 8% year-on-year decrease, and net profits of 2 billion yuan, approximately 300 million US dollars, a 13.5% decline. The cash flow from operating activities was 3 billion yuan, approximately 442 million US dollars, down 28% from the previous year. In its financial report, Hailan Home stated that in 2022, the company faced increased operational pressure due to the downturn in China's domestic economy, a decline in consumer demand and confidence, and ongoing challenges in retail consumption. As clothing, shoes, and hats are discretionary items, they experienced more pronounced impacts, further intensifying the operational pressures on enterprises in the clothing industry. Hailan Home has maintained its position as the leader in China's men's clothing market for 8 consecutive years. At its peak, the company operated over 7,200 stores with a market value of nearly 90 billion yuan, 12.7 billion US dollars, and annual revenues of 3.4 billion yuan, 480 million US dollars, making it the largest clothing company on the A-share market. However, by the end of 2022, Hailan Home's revenue and net profit growth rates had both turned negative, and the overall growth rate had not yet returned to the pre-pandemic levels of 2019. Recently, Wenzhou Zhuangji Clothing Company Limited, one of China's top 10 brands, faced bankruptcy restructuring applied by its creditors to the People's Court of Pingyang County in Zhejiang. Zhuangji, listed among China's top 500 private enterprises and top 50 enterprises in Wenzhou, had an annual output value of 3 billion yuan and over 400 stores. Founded in 1993 by Zheng Yuanzhong, a mysterious tycoon from Wenzhou, Zhuangji's Shuttered Zhuangji brand catered to urban elite men aged 35 to 55, specializing in high-end business casual menswear. Prices for a single outfit ranged from 3,000 to 4,000 yuan, 423 to 564 US dollars, with some going as high as 10,000 yuan, 1,410 US dollars. However, since 2020, with the outbreak of the pandemic and a rapid shift in Chinese consumer behavior towards more frugal spending, the high-end clothing industry has been severely impacted, leading to Zhuangji's rapid collapse. Zhuangji is a subsidiary of Ruyi Group. In its 2023 mid-year report, Ruyi Group disclosed that Zhuangji's order volumes were insufficient to sustain normal production and operations. Zhuangji gradually ceased operations in the second half of 2022. However, at that time, Ruyi Group did not clearly outline Zhuangji's future plans, leading to the recent announcement of bankruptcy. The once popular clothing brand, which swept the nation, has now fallen. Ruyi Group is also currently facing a significant crisis. Since 2018, the group has seen a continuous decline in performance. In the first 3 quarters of 2023, Ruyi Group reported a revenue of 309 million yuan, $44 million, a 46% decrease compared to the same period last year, with a net loss of 63 million yuan, $8.9 million. As of the end of the third quarter, the group's total liabilities had reached 1.9 billion yuan, $264 million. As of the latest closing, Ruyi Group's stock price was 6.9 yuan, 97 cents, representing a 53% decline from its peak in December 2022. The group's current market value is only 1.8 billion yuan, $255 million. This indicates that Ruyi Group, struggling with its challenges, is unable to assist in the rescue of Zhuangji. Another top domestic brand, Meters Bonhui, is also facing difficult circumstances right now. According to its 2022 annual report, the company achieved a total revenue of 1.4 billion yuan, $203 million, a 45% decrease year-on-year. The net loss attributable to the parent company was 823 million yuan, $116 million, compared to a loss of 402 million yuan, $57 million in the same period the previous year. The net cash flow from operating activities was negative 535 million yuan, $75 million, compared to 281 million yuan, $40 million the previous year. Meters Bonhui operates under 8 different brands, including online shopping platforms. Furthermore, Meters Bonhui has been embroiled in a salary arrears controversy. On social media, several employees claimed that since March 2022, the company had continuously delayed paying 4 months of salaries, affecting multiple branches and subsidiaries in Shanghai, Liaoning, and other regions. The revelation caused a public outcry, with some speculating that this could be a precursor to Meters Bonhui's bankruptcy. In actuality, Meters Bonhui has been suffering losses for several years. From 2019 to 2022, the company's losses were 825 million yuan, 859 million yuan, 402 million yuan, and 823 million yuan respectively, totaling 2.9 billion yuan, approximately $410 million. As of December 31st, 2022, Meters Bonhui's undistributed profits were negative 3 billion yuan, approximately $429 million, with the unrecouped losses exceeding 1/3 of the total paid-in capital. In 2022, Meters Bonhui experienced a net closure of 574 stores, with only 29 remaining as direct-operated outlets. The wholesale channel comprised 997 stores, witnessing a net closure of 473 stores during the year. By the end of 2022, the company's workforce had reduced to 1,179 employees from 2,871 in 2021, a substantial decrease of about 59%. Zhou One, a leading enterprise in China's men's trousers industry, focuses on producing and selling men's trousers and business casual wear. In 2022, the company reported operating revenue of approximately 2.6 billion yuan, $369 million, marking a 14% decrease from the previous year. The net loss attributed to the shareholders of the listed company was 93 million yuan, $13 million. This marks the first time Zhou One has incurred losses since its stock market listing. The company attributed this downturn to failed investments. The financial report mentioned that the losses were primarily due to a significant decrease in investment income and fair value changes. Additionally, Sept Wolves Group, another top player in China's apparel industry, experienced a decline in 2022. Its revenue fell by 8.1% to 3 billion yuan, $442 million, and its net profit attributable to the parent company decreased by 34.9% to 151 million yuan, $21 million. Overall, the apparel and clothing sector is experiencing a decline in profits and an increase in debt. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics of China, as of September this year, the operating revenue and total profit of the textile, clothing, and apparel industry have been in negative growth for 11 consecutive months since October last year. In September, the cumulative operating revenue decreased by 8% year-on-year, and profits fell by 7%. With decreasing revenue and profit, the sector's debt has been steadily rising. As of September 2023, The asset-liability ratio of the textile, clothing, and apparel industry reached 54%, the highest in nearly a decade. So why is China's apparel industry struggling? Analysts suggest that the primary reason is the overall economic downturn in China, impacting consumer spending and resulting in insufficient purchasing power. This directly affects the business of clothing manufacturers. Additionally, during China's zero-COVID policy period, 14 Asian countries seized the opportunity to strengthen production and expand exports, progressively replacing China's export market. Over 3 years, these countries have even surpassed China in exports to Europe and America, with the trend becoming increasingly apparent. The severely substituted industries include clothing, apparel, luggage, and footwear, among other labor-intensive products. These industries provide employment for a large segment of the population, and China's cotton production accounts for about 20% of the global output. The diminishing appeal of these traditional industries negatively impacts future export growth.